Greetings and salutations, I'm Keb, you're you, and this is Pharaoh. So, we just finished the second tutorial map. Victory screens. Best thing.
Excellent! You have built the first true city in this unforgiving land, providing for your citizens' corporal and spiritual needs, and have helped the Thinite Confederacy unify the divided land.
Onwards.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them in their cause, it is hoped that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwajit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river. To support a population larger than that of a village, you must learn to use agriculture. Egyptian farmers have begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Yeah, hippos are actually very dangerous. They kill more people than you did imagine. They're definitely more. I believe they are more lethal than crocodiles, at least as far as the Nile is concerned. Anyways, we now get access to farming and all that. How that works. Basically, you plant farms on the floodplains. They get flooded every single fall, I believe, and you have to provide workers from these other buildings on land. And those workers are distributed all across the farms. I don't know if we're gonna get the roadblock this time around. I hope so. I missed the roadblocks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Something like... Oh, whoops. Here we go. Come on, game, give me the roadblock. Right, we want to keep one of the corners open. Oh, that was a mistake. But I think maybe we want to keep that corner open too. Because we want the juggling facilities down there. We also want to build the firehouses. We want to make sure we get water. And then there's the farm and all that stuff. So we're gonna build a work camp, say, out here. And we're gonna start farming. So when the land floods, it floods from the outside in, right? So it's usually a good idea to build on the outer area first, because during poor floods, the inner farms will not get flooded and they won't get fertilized, which is a problem. If you're there, will you be able to access that farm? I don't think so. We'll fix it. We'll road access from this side. Can't actually see because of the error messages. Come on, let me see. There we go. Why won't you let me build? There we go. I was wondering why it wouldn't let me build up there. Another firehouse and a construction shop so that the workshop thing doesn't collapse. And a granary. I'm gonna build a second one of those. The village palace is a bit expensive this early on, but it's also going to be very, very useful. Since we don't have access to all the statistics yet. Statistics kind of matter. Besides, living near to the palace projects beauty. which means that people are going to be happier, so... And also it also tells me if I have a workforce, which we currently do. I want a couple of bazaars. Add some religion. But surprisingly, it's Osiris that's worshipped in this little community. I mean, we're farming the Nile, so why not worship the god of the Nile? Of course, unlike hunting, it's gonna take a while before we actually get some food. I can't really fully explain this. That's the key thing about the floodplain. It's so irregular in shape that it's a bit of a trial and error thing to get the most efficient use out of it. This isn't the most efficient use, I'm sure of it, but anyways. Doesn't matter, we have plenty of floodplain and our cities aren't going to grow that large anyways. Again, it's one of the tutorial maps. So it's all about showing the game concepts. Not much else. Still a fair bit of unemployment. We didn't build a police service. Oh, now we're talking about industry. So, pottery, right? Yeah. That is a staple starter industry in this game. But I'm really annoyed that I still don't have the roadblock. The roadblock is such an advanced tool, apparently, that you can't get it early on. That was a flooding, by the way. We did harvest some figs. Our first harvest is going to be pretty small. We have to increase our harvest significantly before the next flood. So we need to prepare more farms. People are pleased with you. I don't know about that. What was the overall goal again? 600 pops, 10 meager homesteads. Okay, so I'm gonna need to advance beyond the cottages stage. So I'm gonna need the pottery, that's what I'm getting at. Which is fine. I do believe that the clay pits were just yeah, they're just a flat building. Or what were they? Oh right, you have to be a certain distance away from or within a river. Can't put them wherever I want. That's what I was trying to do. What we're gonna do... Build a couple of clay pits there. I'm gonna build a shanty there. We're never gonna get access to water or anything fancy. They're just there to provide labor. Or rather to provide access to labor. Right, we also need more food. That means more fig farms. Go there. Gonna be a bit simplistic here. See how this works. Let's see, I need a road that connects to that farm. Oh, no, I can't build here. No, never mind. Again, it doesn't matter too much. Well, tutorial level. One thing I do remember, you have to try to bring these paths from the farms onto dry shore rather quickly. Because if I build like a road sneaking up all the way up here, there's a chance the walker will get flooded along with the blood bank, and you're gonna lose the food that way. Because they don't harvest the food until pretty close to the inundation. Why can't I build those? Are you saying that I have to have an actual intersection like that? Oh. Even for the corner booth, yeah. But I believe I'm allowed to delete this road afterward. Yeah. So I need the intersection to place the thing. But not actually keep it. Just need to... There we go. That's a bit silly, but you know. Game mechanics. Oh yeah, we don't have a storage yard. Toss one of those down. They don't accept figs, don't accept clay, I don't need that at all. Except pottery. Not having roadblocks here is going to be really bad in long term, because the walkers are going to go in crazy directions, but oh well. Now I can build municipal structures like statues and everything, and gardens to prettify things. We can build roadblocks, thank God, finally. Roadblocks, we can actually do some planning now. So we're going to block this, we're going to block all that. There we go, I don't need them to walk out on the river itself. Let's block there, and let's block here. Finally, we're actually going to have control of our workers. We can also cross the river finally, because we're going to have bridges and all that kind of stuff, and of course we have beautification. Oh, which means we're going to make life better for our folks here. There's a couple of statues here and there. And which key was it that rotated? Was it the R key? Yeah, there we go. R key rotates the various monuments. Not the direction though. There's probably a button for that too. I don't remember, it's been ages. And we're told about doctors. Right, and malaria. Virus, because we just got our first visit of malaria. Yeah, people died. Little skulls. So let's toss down a few of the anti-malaria buildings. One over there. On that corner. The physician, so... Set that up. The biggest problem right now is food. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of malaria until this whole thing sorts itself out, but so be it. If I recall correctly, they will just move in again once these have been fumigated properly. Down here you're not evolving because of the local area yet, so I need more beautiful statues and everything. There we go. Uh-oh. Pause for a second. Yeah, that's a problem. This warehouse will be full, so all the workers are just going to stand there and drown. They don't have enough capacity. That's a problem. Come on, let me build one. I mean, it's sort of going to solve itself out once the walkers here come over and shop more things. It's too late now. We're out of money, yeah, I know. Got a bit of an emergency funding, but that's fine. Come on, walkers. No, they're not going to save this thing, save these farms. Actually, he's going to be safe. Because he's on the edge of the river there. Oh well. Still, we got a lot of food, so... overall, we should be fine. Need more beautification, though. When you rotate the direction, you will rotate the direction. Eventually. to click it a few times. So is it these houses I want? Modest homesteads? Modest homesteads, yeah. Okay, so we're almost there.
Still struggle to...
Basically, I just have to hold the city together for a few seconds. Prettify it a little bit with statues and everything. And try to keep people from dying from malaria and whatever. There we go, victory. So here's one of the fun things about Pharaoh. Once you actually win, you have the choice of advancing them or just staying on the map for 2 or 5 more years. The point of doing that is that you accumulate money for your dynasty through taxes and everything. I don't think you do that on the first few maps, but basically it's a way for you to ease into the next map because the money carries over. That's why you have those buttons. But again, I don't think it matters early on because we don't have the but I don't have our own palace, so I don't think we can actually skim money off the top just yet. Anyways, let's proceed.
Superb. Your own citizens are beginning to look to you as their caretaker, and neighboring cities also hail you as a provider in times of need.
You know, one thing is kind of funny, given the widescreen patch. I'm finally able to see what's in the center of that screenshot, because, you know, normally that menu here is going to be right over here. So I never see what's behind there. I never saw that back in the 90s. Oh well. So, yeah, it's good for something. That concludes all the pre-dynastic period, i.e. the tutorial levels. We're on to the archaic period. I can't really click this one to replay that either. So all the old kingdom stuff are going to be in order, I believe. So, anyways, archaic kingdom, archaic period. Let's go.
In scattered settlements along the sacred Nile River, powerful chieftains emerge, leading their people with strength of will and spirit to tame the wild landscape and bring forth the bounty of Egypt. Villages grow into prosperous cities. Earthen bricks, baked under the desert sun, become sacred tombs to forever house the souls of their departed nobles.
Monument time! Woohoo!
As the people who live along the Nile still struggle to survive in this harsh environment, a local king named Narmer has risen to power. Though Narmer has dominion over much of this land, full unification of the twin kingdoms has yet to be achieved. In commemoration of his accession, Narmer wishes your family to establish and govern a new city at Nekhen. This city will have temples to many of the gods of Egypt and numerous places of entertainment.
Okay, so we basically get roughly the same goals we had before. Population of 1,000, which is a bit higher than we had, and 10 modest apartments, which was the same level we had before. And also we're tasked with brewing some beer for bazaars. Time for alcohol, eh? Developing culture, beer, multiple gods, more entertainment, yada 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 yada. All the fancy things. And also law and order. Now we're gonna get courthouses. Are we gonna get tax collectors? That's it. That's what I want. Anyways, let's see, what do we have? Before I want to pause for a second just so I can see what resources we have. Not we find to have a non-tutorial map. We have farms for grain and barley. Grain to eat and barley to brew into beer. We now also have bandstands and conservatories, so we have all kinds of entertainment stuffs. Those are just musicians, right? Yeah, you add musicians to the mix. No longer just jugglers, we still have all the health stuffs. All materials, still just clay pits. Did we get new gods? Cyrus, Ra, and Bast. And still no actual palace, right? Just a village palace. Ah, well. Okay, anyways. Can I see my overseers now? Yeah, we have a couple more menus. Which is fine. Not all of them, though. What I want to see is, do I have the god menu? I do. So now I can start holding festivals, try to carry favor from the gods. Ra is the patron god, which means you have to keep them happy ahead of the other gods. Even though he might... The patron god might not always be the most beneficial. Can I access the world map? No. Okay. So... Only a bit of the floodplain is on this side, so we're gonna have to make a river crossing over there. Most of the city is gonna be pretty dry. What to put where? That's the kind of the initial question. So for city districts, it's kind of nice to be able to extend into the desert. Most of the city can be in the desert just fine. The village palace and the water wells are pretty much the only thing that can't be out here. By contrast, a lot of your industry has to have access to water, like the clay pits, so... That's why it's okay to have your city be a bit on the dry side. Now, there is a maximum limit to how far your walkers will go. I wish I remembered that limit. Because that dictates just how big your district can be. But let's go with something like this. And 6 squares in the center there. I do want people settling here on the edges, because that means I can have walkers coming from industry touch this place here and get employment. Or get access to employers. Employees. Ah, words. Just gonna toss up a few houses here and there. Right, now I want to use bandstands, come to think of it, and they're a bit of a different thing, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, we'll deal with that once we build a few of them. You'll see what I mean. They actually require an intersection, a working intersection. Unlike the stuff we've been building so far. Okay, let's start with that. The roadblocks that we are going to need, absolutely. And add access to water. Proper water supply, say, around here. 1 walker should be sufficient to cover this entire square. The drier an area is, the more firehouses and stuff like that you're going to need. I think I want 2 for the block, just to be safe. And with architect posts, these are just so basic that it's kind of okay to go with a bit of overkill, in my opinion. Police stations won't be that necessary. Not really, because you're kind of going to counteract the need for police by just enhancing the villages, or the city buildings. We're already running a bit late. The first year we're not really going to have food, unfortunately. Because, yeah, it takes a while to set up the food infrastructure. We need to put this one there. Yeah, again, I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm well aware. But so be it. Okay, war camps. We need a couple of those. I'm gonna put them out here. We're gonna use roadblocks to basically guide those guys. Walk towards these little huts. We are gonna need firehouses and architects' posts so that these buildings don't catch fire or just collapse. I do want to get my... oh wait, can I build my village palace here? can build it there. Good. I mean, it needs access to water, so I was kind of nervous there. But it's fine. We do need some apothecaries. Probably time to put on a physician as well. Oh right, we could... I forgot to actually build a granary. Oh, no food the first year. Whoopsie daisy. These things happen. That's okay, we'll come back strong next year, I think. We'll have the working infrastructure at least for the next year. I do think I want 2 bazaars. It is so easy to run out of resources if you don't have multiple bazaars. Because they have to go and fetch all the resources, and if they run out of one good, the whole square is gonna devolve, the whole district. That's kind of annoying. Anyways, it is time for a short break. We'll see if we can actually get some food next season and take it from there. Thank you for watching.